Hey everyone, day 14 officially, and I thought I'd do a catch up on some questions first before I crack on into where I'm up to and what I'm going to get up to. Yeah, break some more oats. So I did an answer from 9 onwards, so 9 was my favourite army. I really like Dark Angels. They're pretty cool. As I'm doing Chaos at the moment, I like them as well. I think the Dark Angels are pretty, they've got sort of neat fluff, apart from that nighty stuff, but however, who cares. My favourite mini to paint so far, well, it's been that old mate there, the old Terminator Lord. Which I sort of did it all in one go, so it's sort of more fun that way. What have we got here? Independent characters. I think I've skipped one, but who cares? Independent character see in action. Well, I reckon I'd like to see some sort of demon. No, some dude who's just won his combat turn into a demon. And he's rolled on the chaos table there. Turn into a demon. As long as I'm some sort of lowly cultist that's not going to get killed by him, I can just slink off to the side and not get killed, but you know, I reckon there'll be see some sort of wicked stuff like that. And then it goes on to tertiary objective, just film something around where you are. Well, I did that and I'll upload that at the same time as this one. I went fishing, we caught nothing, but we practiced, and when we go next month, we're going to a better place. It's full of trout so far. And then 14, today's day, finally up to it. Who would you want to sculpt if you could sculpt it? And I'm not too impressed with the Khan the Betrayer and the Lucius models, the Chaos models. Lucius is alright, the Khan is just, it's a bit dated. I was thinking, I quite like doing a bit of conversion. I'm not going to sculpt it, you know, it's just bashing and throwing some green stuff so that arms fit here and there. I like that aspiring champion model, and I might try and put a Khan on that one, and a more duelist sort of posed for Lucius, because he's, you know, that's what he's renowned for, he likes having a fight. So I might give those a go later on, but if they would, you know, there's some better sculpts out there as well. Yeah, I'd love to see those. I like the more dynamic stuff. You know, sometimes they're a bit static. What I thought I'd do, what I'm up to now, was I did a bit today when I got home, was I magnetise a few underneath the models so I could move them around, because I want to use them as part of a bigger sort of diorama, as well as have them on just their normal regular army bases. And as you can see, there's the sort of 95% finished one on the right there with my Terminator Lord. I'm going to get into using a bit of the pigments, weathering pigments on it, you know, to make it look a bit more natural, but at the moment it's sort of like a volcanic basalt sort of rock. But I thought I'd just show you how I've done it. It's not a tutorial or anything, it's just to show you how I've done it. So on the regular Terminator base, see I've super glued, it's just bark out of the garden. I've just broken them up and make them all a bit level. And put them in a haphazard sort of thing. I use glue, super glue for that, and I use it with a brush. It's just better. Really, it's just better to use a brush super glue, then it super glues that on. And then I use what have we got here? Next I put on a medium and a sort of a larger size grit sort of stuff that you buy, you know, you get from Games Workshop or whoever you get it off. It's the thicker stuff, but I put a smaller amount of the bigger stuff on. A bit more of that, as you can see, you know, it's still not covering everything. And then I grab the smaller sand,
I cover it so it's all nice and even, and as you can see there's a transition between the different sizes without, you know, trying to make it look natural but also trying to make it look sort of like it's, so you centralise the model, I reckon. There you go. Now then the good thing about that bark is that when you super glue the magnets in, is you just use your knife to cut the holes in that. And you can see that's what I've done. And if you can see on where my thumb is, there, I put the first one in, it fits nicely, and then I've drawn around his foot so I know where to put the next one, so it all fits all nice. And as you can see, it all fits nice. There's not much of a, you can see a little bit of a gap there, but it actually sits nice, and I do that to make sure they sit nice on there. And then this one here, you know, and then I give it a base coat of black, all black. And this one I'm just experimenting now with just one magnet, you know, to make them last a bit longer. And it seems to be alright. Give it a shake. It seems to be alright so far. It's going to be a bit annoying, sorry for you there. If it's all nicely on there. And then I, dry brush up with the grey and then a bit of white. That should be alright. And then you have, that's sort of, my whole army's sort of, not these big bark bits for the regular guys, regular marines and that, but I put lots of little bits of bark on there. Then that's sort of finished. But yeah, I've sort of been experimenting with a bit of grass in there and that as well, but we'll see. Sort of add that after. Same with the weathering powders. I'm going to try that on a few tanks first, and then I might do all of my bases. I like to have all the bases the same. Yeah, so you've got a bit of continuity there. So, cracking on, tomorrow I hope to get all the base coat done. So all the black and then the red and then all the metal black, and then so tomorrow night into the gold, which is the hard part, the distinct bit. But I'm pretty happy. I think I'll finish this in a couple of days, so I'll only be a little bit behind. I think I said in my first at the moment that I was going to do the defiler, and then these were just going to be a side project, but they'll sort of turn into the main project. And the defiler, because the cheap detergent didn't really work, well, it didn't work at all, it just stained all the white bits pink, green. So I'm going to have to go and buy some proper simple green or some Dettol, whichever's cheapest, to get the paint off the defiler, which I think he's in the background there, sitting there. What's he doing? Sitting there. Anyway. So he's I think going to be the side project for all the weeks, because after this I'll choose another thing to do, and he'll sort of crack on, and he might finish up at the end of the month, be finished. Yeah, so that's my next oath to break. Well, catch us tomorrow.